Being that this is the last shiur of this series, we're going to make it the hardest. We're going to push you to the limit. And we're going to start with a question which was asked by the Briskerov. Briskerov asks a question. We find by Daled Kosos, on the night of Seder night, we drink 4 kosos of wine, grape juice. And the question is, we need to know, what is the shiur? How much do we have to drink? So we have a cup, it's filled with wine. Do I have to drink the whole thing? A little bit of it? The Rambam in Hilchos, this is in number 8. And if you look in the Rambam, it's at the end of halachoh tes. So he's discussing the 4 kosos, all different interesting halachas about it. Halachoh tes arba kosos ha'elu. These 4 kosos tzarich limzoig oison. You have to dilute them. In the olden days, the wine was very, very strong. So the only way to drink it and to enjoy it was to dilute it with water. Okay, he goes on, he tells you a couple of interesting halachas. If you go to the end of halachoh tes, the last 7 words, he says, Ve'im shasami kol kos mehen rubai. If you drink from all of the koses, all of the cups, rubai, most of the cup, yotza, you have fulfilled your chiyuv. You've done, that is the mitzvah. If you've had roiv, so okay, you had roiv the kos. Rambam says the amount that you need to have for 4 kosos is most. Okay. As the Briskerov, what is going on over here? If we look in Hilchos Kiddush, it's on number 6. The Rambam is talking about making Kiddush every Friday night. There's a mitzvah to have Kiddush, and the day could be Darabanan. The Rambam says over there, the mitzvah, I actually didn't bring this halacha, I brought a different halacha, which we're going to see soon. He says, V'shoisei mole lugmov. You should drink mole lugmov. Mole lugmov, I didn't bring it there, I'm sorry, is a cheekful. If you put your wine onto your cheek, and you drink that amount, that is how much you have to drink for Kiddush. It's generally less than Revius. It's definitely less than most of a kos. If you take a normal kos, Rov kos is usually more than a cheekful. So, that's the prescription of what is going on over here. Why by Kiddush do we find that you can get away with moli lugmov, a cheekful, but we find by Daled Kosos, you have to have most of the cup. Good question? Makes sense?
Yeah, but why should it be similar? Could be completely different.
Could be completely different. Okay.
That's possible.
Okay. If it is completely different, you have to tell me why. We have 2 mitzvahs where you need to drink wine. Why is it different? What about it is it that this one you should have a smaller shiur, this one you should have a bigger shiur? We have to give a reasoning for it.
What about Havdalah? What's the shiur?
Mali lugmov.
Is every wine?
Every single time you have a mitzvah to drink wine, it's mali lugmov.
Yeah, but
I mean by Kiddush. Cheekful.
Okay.
It's better to have a revius. We're going to see. It's always better to have a revius, as far as I know.
For the action of Kiddush, Kiddusha, it's not a question of a glass. It's not. We don't make 4 Kiddushim or 5 Kiddushim and 4 Kiddushim during the Seder. It's not a Kiddush. It's the fact of drinking a glass. What is a glass? A glass is the majority. Then for the Kedusha, maybe it's just the principle of drinking. And then he says, principle of drinking, it's and it could make sense because they are not for Kedushin.
Got a London here. Yeah. Very good. If I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying the Briskerov's answer. If I understand you correctly.
I agree with you.
He agrees with him. Shmuel wants me to say it again. I want to go through it, and we're going to bring it out. Let's see. I mean, I think everyone's going to, in maybe 20 minutes, I think everyone's going to realize what you're answering. What's your first name again? Shlomo. So Rabbi Shlomo here tells us the Mordecai teretz, which I think is the Briskerov's teretz. I want to go through from right at the beginning. What is the chiyuv to have kiddush? What is the chiyuv to have daled kaisos? And slowly we're going to end up painting the picture which Shlomo has created, which was done a long time ago by the Briskerov. Okay. Let's start with asking another simple question. Usually by asking the most simple questions, you get the most fundamental, you get to the source of what is actually going on. Friday night, we come home, we pour a glass of wine, and we make kiddush. It's not the only time we do it. I was recently by a bris, and it's a big mitzvah, a bris, and again, we're busy with wine, making kiddush. Not a kiddush, we're making a hagofen. What are we doing? A chuppah, a pidyon ben. Lots and lots of places we find sheva brachas. Again, we're busy making brachas on wine. What are we doing? What are we doing? What's it about? This question, of course, has been asked the Mishnah Brura at the beginning of Hilchos Birchas Hamazon. It's well known that it's a machlokas, and it's always a good thing to do when one makes Birchas Hamazon with more than three. For sure, with more than three, there's a very nice inyan, could be a chiyuv, to make it on a kos of wine. Right? So, the Mishnah Berurah there brings a levush. The levush explains what is the concept of making a bracha on wine when we're doing a mitzvah, when we're all these things. Let's have a look. It's on source number 5. Sorry about the print. This is what they had on the computer. Says the Levush, Kvayadat sheberoiv habrachas shetiknu chachamim zechroina levracha. We already know that most of the brachas, which the chachamim, the rabbis were masaken, tiknom lesadrom ala kois. They were masaken it that it should be masuda. It's given an order. It's given a. It's meant to be done a la kois on a cup. Why? Says the Levush, mipnei shehu derech kavod. It's a way of honor, v'shvach noeh, and a nice way of praising. L'seder kein shvachai, to order your shvach, your praise, uberkosei, and your blessing is baruch imakos shebiyodei, with a kos, with a cup in your hand. We're going to say it many times on Pesach. Like it says in the pasuk, kos Yeshua's esa, the kos, the cup of Yeshua's of salvation. Esa we lift up, of Hashem Ekra, and with the name of Hashem we call out. Says the Levush, do you know why we're so busy making brachas and busy with wine when we're doing various different mitzvahs? Because it's a nice way, it's a proper way to give shvach, to give praise to Hashem, holding a cup of wine. It's like a chosheva thing. You're not happy?
No, because we were speaking about the simcha of the drinking of it and just holding it. How does that accomplish that next part? It's more drinking it, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but...
So Rabbi Person is asking, why is it the holding? Why is it the holding? It's the drinking. Shlomo was saying that by Dalet Kosis, it's not so much the kiddush, the saying, the brachas so much, it's the drinking.
I think you're connecting it to something physical, and which is respectful. Wine is considered a respectful drink. And then the point, it's not like Purim that the point is to drink and to have simcha. The point is to connect to something physical.
I think that's the answer. Aryeh's tiny. Do you hear what Aryeh's saying? Aryeh's saying that it's not so much, when we're discussing Kiddush, it's not so much that it's the drink, it's that the yayin is choshev. Yayin is something which you bring out. We have 2 French people here, right? They know when you say wine. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. 1.5. Do you speak French? You're French, okay?
Speaks French like a Frenchman.
Okay. Whatever. We have one French person, another person who speaks French here. You mention wine, their whole face lights up. And truth is, from people from anywhere, wine has a certain, it's classy. It's very classy to have wine, right? If you want to have a respectful meal, you have hashkafic guests over and you want to make a nice impression, you get a nice bottle of French wine. Or if you're in Israel, you get Israeli wine. If it's in England, you bring Scotch, you know that, okay? So, says Aryeh that no, by Kiddush, it's not so much the fact that it's the drink. It's a hashkafic thing, and me holding a nice silver cup, not plastic see-through one, a nice silver cup of wine, it's the honor you're giving. It's the honor you're giving. I think that is the pshat. Definitely think that's the pshat.
Ceremonial gesture to make something like this, like if it was a king or someone.
I think that's the pshat. I think that's the pshat. The Levush actually goes on, and he says also al pi Kabbalah, to do it with wine. But I'm not qualified, so I can't really explain that to you. So, okay, that is the basic reason we make Kiddush. The reason we make Kiddush is because it gives honor. It's the correct way to praise. Let's look at his lashon again. It's derech covered. It's a way of honor. V'shvach noah. That's where you got it from, right? Covered. It says the word honor. Honor's less so about the drinking. It's more so about the what's the word? The ceremony, the pomp. Okay. So, with that introduction, let's go straight over to source number 6. And have a look at the Rambam. The Rambam is discussing Hilchos Kiddush. And we're going to read this Rambam very carefully to see the way he puts down the mitzvah of Kiddush. Mitzvahs asay min ha-Torah. It's a mitzvahs asay, a positive commandment min ha-Torah, lekadish es yom ha-Shabbos, to lekadish, to sanctify, to make holy, heilig es yom ha-Shabbos, the day of Shabbos, bidvarim, with words. Shenema, as it says in the pasuk, we find in the Torah, zocha es yom ha-Shabbos lekadshei. Remember the day of Shabbos, lekadshei, to make it holy. Kaloima zechrehu, remember it, zechirus shvach the Kiddush. Remember it with a zechirus shvach, a mentioning of shvach, of praise, the Kiddush, and heiligkeit, to make it holy. V'tzarich lezechreu b'knisasasoi v'yitziasoi. You have to remember it b'knisasoi when it comes in, v'yitziasoi when it goes out. B'knisasoi b'kiddush hayom, when it comes in with kiddush that we make on Shabbos. V'yitziasoi b'havdalah. Okay, we're going to stop here. The Rambam says there's a mitzvah to make kiddush, b'dvarim, to be mekadesh Shabbos with words, because it says in the pasuk Zachas Yom Shabbos lekadshei. What does this tell us about making Kiddush Friday night? What does this tell us? If after looking at this Rambam, what type of wine do you think you need?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't mention wine. Doesn't mention wine. Rambam doesn't bring it once. He does not mention it. Later, what?
In this one specific halacha, it doesn't.
This is where he's saying, he carries on in halacha base. I have it here. I tried to fit it in 2 pages. That's always my goal, so I skip things out. In his next halacha, he says, "V'zehu nisach kiddush hayom." This is the nusach of kiddush hayom, and he goes and brings the whole nusach which we have. Baruch Hashem lekeinu malachim masher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'rotzavonu v'Shabbos kosher b'hava v'rotzon. Each one to their tune that they do it. He doesn't mention hagofen. So when he's laying down the main mitzvah of kiddush, doesn't say anything about wine.
But words.
Words. Say words.
And wine adds the pump. Or is it?
Good.
What
Now he's waiting. Shlomo's asking, where's the pomp? Where's the ceremony? What's going on?
What's the main principle, and what's the pump, the decoration about?
Right.
The main thing seems to be the words, saying it's food for Shabbat, and then how do you do that? Do that with wine to make it nice.
Mamash alamdan. I said your mamash alamdan. You know how to learn. No, I'm not joking. You went to yeshiva?
No. Yes.
He's saying, you see from the Rambam, that pshat is by Kiddush. There's a din, the Torah tells you, that you need to be Mekadesh Shabbos. You need to say words of shvach, words of praise, and you need to say words to make Shabbos holy. Our words have power. We're doing something. We say Kiddush on Friday night, say Kiddush on Yom Tov, you're doing something. It's not stam. And you for yourself as well, you're making a declaration. For your family, for... The Rambam doesn't mention Kiddush. It says Shlomo, must be that wine is for the pomp, for the extra ceremony, for the extra honor, like we saw in the Levush. If you look later, all of a sudden the Rambam wakes up in halacha vav, after he's spoken about Kiddush for a while already, all different halachas. He tells you shouldn't eat and drink before. He tells you the main Kiddush is at night, and he says what happens if you forget. After all these halachas, the Rambam tells you, oh yeah, I forgot. Wine has something to do with Kiddush. In halacha vav, look, I brought it in the same box a bit later. Midivri Seifrim. The Rabbanon, the rabbis later, they said lekadish al yayin, to make Kiddush on wine, or lehavdil al yayin, to make avdana on wine. We see very clearly in the Rambam, the mitzvah of Kiddush is with words. On Friday night, the mitzvah of Kiddush is with words. It's that one there, Shlomo. Midivri Seifrim, from the words of Seifrim, it means darabanan. It's a din darabanan. It's not from the Torah. It's only the rabbis did it later. Lekadish al yayin or lehavdil al yayin.
At this point, the oraita, it's the word.
That's right.
And the rabbanan, wine.
No, that's right. The oraisa is with words. Darabanan on wine. Even it goes so far that Rabbi Akiva Eiger on the Shulchan Aruch asks a question. He discusses. We're not going to get into this, but I'm just trying to bring out the point. We, Friday night, we go to shul, we daven Mariv, and we say in davening, Mekadesh HaShabbos, make a bracha. That whole thing in the middle of Shemana Esrei, we end off Baruch Atah Hashem, Mekadesh HaShabbos. We've made a blessing, Mekadesh HaShabbos. We come home, all excited, we sing Shalom Aleichem, Eshes Chayil, pick up the Kiddush cup. When I'm making Kiddush on my wine, this is a din d'oraisa or a din d'arabanan? I already said in shul, Mekadesh HaShabbos. So I already did Zechreu ala to be Mekadesh Shabbos with words, I already did in shul. So when I'm coming home, it's a din d'arabanan.
So if it's like this, isn't my wife Zocher?
There you go. Shlomo Asher B'Kiva Eiger's Kasha.
So since I've already done the
How can I be yotze my wife? My wife never davened Mariv. She never said Mekadesh Shabbos. She has a din d'oraisa. Minatayra, she has to make Kiddush. He's standing there with his Kiddush cup, but he's only got a din d'arabanan. So how can you be Motzi her? We're not going to go into that, but that's how far this goes. Okay.
Hopefully when he came home he said good Shabbos to his wife.
Right. It's right. I wonder, are you yotze with just saying good Shabbos? Are you yotze with that? Just saying good Shabbos, I don't know.
During the day, maybe.
What?
During the day.
You have to say the word Kiddush.
Right, but why does that? Oh, why? At night it's different.
Well, you don't say Mekadesh, you don't say Kiddush when you say...
During the day, it's din d'arabanan, but...
You don't have the idea, because it's not only words, it's what you think. So you have to be thinking when you say that you're Mekadesh Shabbat. Because if you just say, we have to say Kiddush, so you didn't say anything. It's not the word Kiddush, it's not like a magical word. You have to have the intention of doing what you're going to do. And are we thinking that we are done with Shabbat when we say it in the Tefillah in the Shul? We don't think so. We think we have to go. We will not eat after the Tefillah, before the Kiddush. So we have not the intention of making Kiddush. So maybe it's also the oraita with the wife.
No, but when you say...
You not eat before you arrive at home. The single I said Kiddush. You didn't say Kiddush. Really, for me, in my mind, I'm not...
You're trying to answer why you can be yotze even d'oraisa. Because you're having a mind to make Kiddush later.
Yeah.
Could
so
be.
So then you're not...
Maybe.
Then you can...
Maybe.
When you're talking about at the shul, you're talking about as part of the tefillah, or as part of when sometimes the community makes kiddush.
I'm talking about when you're davening yourself, not when the community makes. Yeah, in the tefillah.
Shemona Esrei?
Yeah. people, we say Mekadesh Shabbos.
Okay. Ashkenazim, do you say it again?
Some places yes, some places not.
After the tefillah, we said the kiddush. In the
Sfadim do.
It is Friday. But it's the real words of the kiddush.
Right.
Shishi and everything, but without wine, obviously.
Oh, you don't do it with wine?
No. After before Alin Shabbat, we say, I can show you in the siddur.
Right.
We say Yom Shishi.
With wine?
No.
No, without wine.
Everybody
The
says.
place where I used to go to a shul where they did it with wine. A guy got up and
Right.
People do it
So how
with
could he
wine,
go
but this
home
is
and
a real
say
kiddush.
Of the Chulu.
That's more problematic,
And we
right?
say Vaychulu. And we say everything.
So I don't know exactly what you're doing with the kiddush in
I
shul.
heard the answer is because there's like a Kol Yisrael reading that if someone's not yet Yotze, then you can still you can be Yotze. You can make Kiddush multiple times for multiple people.
That's true.
Even
That's
during
true.
the day, make Kiddush again and again.
That's
and
true. That's true. That's true. You're saying Kol Yisrael Arevim. See, even if you've made kiddush already, it's okay. In general, when you make kiddush in shul, it's unclear exactly what we're doing in nowadays. It used to be in the olden days for people who lived in the shul for the aniyim, but we don't have them. So you have to know exactly what we're doing with that. But you're saying anyway, you're answering Kivega's kasha. Why couldn't you do it because of Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazah? that's what you're answering? Maybe you can say for...
Yeah.
Oh?
I've heard that answer.
Right, maybe. I saw the beginning of Kivega. That wasn't... Maybe a different time we'll carry on through one. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, we've seen... We understand a little bit better what we're doing with Kiddush. We are giving we are giving praise to Hashem with wine. It gives it respect. It changes being Mekadesh Shabbos with words to something more special, something more honorable. We saw the Rambam that says that really, Midoraisa, you don't need to do it on wine. It's only a din d'Rabbanan. Now, let's have a look a little bit about 4 kosses, Daled kosses. Let's analyze this a little bit better. Source number 1, let's start the Mishnah. Erev Psachim Samuch Lemincha, on before the night of Pesach, the afternoon before, Samuch Lemincha, towards the time of Mincha, Lo yochel adam, a person shouldn't eat ad shetechshach. He shouldn't have a suda, he shouldn't have a fixed meal like we just had with washing until it becomes dark. The Mefarshim Rashbam, Rashi explained, because we want to have the mitzvah of matzah when you're hungry. You dig into that matzah, even though it tastes not like challah, but still you should be gishmak. Afilu oni should be Yisrael, even a person who is poor should be oni should be Yisrael. Lo yochel ad sheyesef. He shouldn't eat ad sheyesef until he leans. Right? There's a mitzvah of leaning on the night of Seder.
The Ani should be more hungry than others.
Why should he what?
The Ani would feel like eating earlier. So even Afilu Ani. So it means that the Ani we could have an idea that the Ani would feel like eating very quickly before.
No. Sorry. Afilu on should be Yisrael. Now we're talking about a different thing. We're talking about finished talking about before Pesach. Now this is on Pesach. Yes. On the night of Pesach, even an Oni, when he eats, he needs to lean. Meaning, we understand that if you take a rich guy, for him, in the olden days, leaning was the way that the fine people used to, aristocratic people did.
First line and second line are non sequitur?
No, they don't go together. It's talking about a different time in the day. Right? Sorry, I should have mentioned that a bit better. Lo yochel adam ad shetechshach, full stop. Right? That's talking about before Pesach. On Pesach, on the night of Pesach, even an Oni needs to lean on his side.
That is because he leans only at night.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Fine. And this is the line which we're here for. V'loy yifchusu loy. We shouldn't give him less. Me arba kosses shel yayin. From them 4 kosses of yayin. V'afilu min hatamcha, even from the soup kitchen, even from where they gave the aniyim to eat. So this is the line which mentioned the first time 4 kosses of wine on Pesach. That even an Oni, you give him 4 kosses of wine. What is the source of 4 kosses of wine? Where does this come from? If you look in Rashi, the print of Rashbam is very small, so let's just see it in Rashi. It's at the side. If you look at where the Mishnah is, just go straight to the side, and go up. You'll see in bold letters, arba kosos. Says Rashi, keneged arba l'shoni geula. It's keneged the 4 different languages, different words of geula ha'amurim begolas Mitzrayim, which is said in Golas Mitzrayim. So in the Parashiyos, it's at the beginning of Parashas Ve'er, I believe. It says 4 different words used to express freedom, used to express being saved. V'hoitzeisi eschem, 1, I will take you out. That's what v'hoitzeisi means. V'etzalti eschem, I will save you. V'ga'alti eschem, I will redeem you. V'lokachti eschem, and I will, another word for taking you out. There's 4 different languages, 4 different words the Torah uses when Hashem said, I'm going to take you out of Mitzrayim. Connected those, corresponding to those 4 words, we have 4 cups of wine. That seems to be Rashi and the Rashbam. That is the makor, that is the source where it comes from, that we have 4 cups of wine. Rabbi Poston mentioned earlier this morning, it's a very, very important mitzvah, right? We said even an oni has to sell the clothes off his back in order to do arba kosos. The Shulchan Aruch says even someone who wine damages him somewhat, within reason, or he really, really doesn't like it, so wine or grape juice, right? Wine is better, grape juice is also yotze with. He should force himself, he should give himself, whatever he's got, to have 4 kosos of wine. It's a very, very important mitzvah. The Gemara even brings, the Gemara in Yerushalmi brings a story. There was a certain Moira, a Tana, who didn't like wine. Came 4 kosos, came to the Seder night. He had all 4, and he had a headache from then until Shavuos. It's a long time. Okay? I hope none of you have any of those issues. Of course, if it's someone has a serious issue, you should speak to a Rav. But in general, that's how serious it is. That's how serious it is.
Yeah, people with diabetes, because there's a lot of sugar in.
Right, yeah. So, of course, you're not mechuyev to give up your life at all.
An alcoholic.
No, I thought we said it could be grape juice.
Yeah. So grape juice can also, maybe if someone had an allergy, maybe this Amaya had an allergy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an analogy between the fact of using the wine for the kiddush and the wine for the 4 words, 4 expressions? Is it to make a praise? Because why you have 4 words? Okay, Rashi doesn't help us. It said there are four words. But why do we drink? We still have the question. 4 words. Why for wine? It could be for Coke or for water. So
Frag Shlomo, very nice we have 4 words, but why wine? Why wine?
He didn't say wine. He said that 4
He's on
words.
fire.
So
He's on fire.
Don't teach me
Should have warned me he's coming.
What?
I said, you should have warned me you're coming. Keep me on my toes. Very good. Why wine? Why wine?
Because I think maybe we could make the same analogy with kiddush, that we are so amazed by the power of Hashem to each each time, so we make like a kiddush to make like pump.
Zog Shlomo.
Of freedom that we got. From
Very good. So you want to say that it's similar to Kiddush. Yeah. Just like by Kiddush, it's an honorary thing, it's like a choshev thing to have with wine, so too tonight.
So to remind and to make us understand what we are saying, because we say 4 words. So what? No, it's not so what. It's very important that Hashem gave us the 4 levels of freedom, and you have to make a praise like to say, wow, that's something. Yeah, so it drives us to wonder. I have to understand more each of them to know what.
Very good. Very good. I hear what you're saying.
Each time I've got in French, I've got the feeling that there are 4 times the same thing, but it's not. So maybe Chaim wanted us to dig.
Yeah. He's saying it's also to wake you up.
Yeah.
To wake you up. But when you're doing it on wine, you'll think a little bit more about these 4 words, and you'll think a bit more.
Shabbat. Okay, but then this is also the same level.
Very good. We might see soon a different pshat in why especially wine. You're asking a good question. Why especially wine? Okay. Let's have a look now at source number 3. Tanu Rabbanon. The rabbis taught. Hakol chayovin ba'arba kosos. This is source number 3 in the Gemara. Everyone is obligated in ba'arba kosos halalu, in these 4 kosos. Everyone is obligated. Echad hanoshim, even men. Ve'echad noshim, also ladies. Ve'echad, no one falls off the sea. Tinoikos, even tinoikos. Po b'Yisrael yodim ma ze tinok. Tinok ze, baby, a little baby. So give it to tinoikos. Says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, v'chimat toyeles yesh letinoikos b'yayin. What toyeles, what use does tinoikos have with wine? Elo mechalken lehem kloyos ve'egoizim. We don't have the rest of this. Right? You give them kloyos ve'egoizim, you give them nuts. The Gemara says you give them nuts in order to keep them up.
It's not that were put in wine. Like
No, to play with, to keep them up. We want them to not fall asleep.
I thought they were used to put like dried fruit
into the wine.
In wine and give the like this. They have a perfume and taste of wine.
It's to play. The Gemara then goes on and says various different things which we do in order to keep the kids up. All right, the minig of afikoyim, and it comes from the Gemara. The Gemara says we grab the matzah. Why do we grab the matzah? So the kid's going to say, "What's going on over here?" All different tactics and techniques we do to keep the kids up. Because, as we know, on the night, Seder night, there's a mitzvah to say over, Yetzias Mitzrayim, to say over, with him asking a question and you giving an answer. So that is what we do. Now, this Gemara, I mean, we can understand, what good does it have giving a child wine? We can understand pshat in it, but the Ran says a very interesting pshat, Rabbeinu Nissim, in why children can't have wine, why they can't fulfill their mitzvah with wine. Says Rabbeinu Nissim in source number 4. So it's basically the first words in bold. It says "Matoyeles litinokis b'yayin" in the right corner. Says the Ran, Kaloima. It means to say, with this, it's not possible lechancham, to train them. Any mitzvah which a child does under 13 is not doiraisa. It's a din, or at least it's not that mitzvah, chinuch. It's a mitzvah of chinuch, which means you're training him. It's a mitzvah of chinuch. Says the Ran, it's not possible to train him b'mitzvahs. It's not shaykh to tell him that this is a mitzvah of chinuch. Why? The kiven she'ein nehenin usmeichim boy, since they don't enjoy it and it doesn't make them happy. Einoi lahem derech chirus. It's not for them a way of freedom. Children don't enjoy, and wine doesn't make them happy. They don't enjoy wine, and it doesn't make them happy. If they don't enjoy it and it doesn't make them happy, it's not freedom. Who mentioned freedom? What's he talking about freedom? Says in the Ran, we see from here that the mitzvah of Dalet Kosos is not just to be corresponding to these different 4 the choices of words which the Torah uses to be taken out. It's a level further. What does this mean? It's also derech chirus. That means it's a way of freedom. And we're going to see this brought out even more in the Rambam. Have a look in the Rambam in source number 7. Halacha Vav. So it's on the first line, source number 7, Halacha Vav. B'chol dor v'dor, in every single generation, chayav adam, a person is obligated laharos es atzmai, to see himself. This is an important one. We say it actually on Seder night. Ki'ilu hu ba'atzmai yotza, atam mishibud Mitzrayim, as if he himself came out now from Shibud Mitzrayim, from the slavery of Egypt. Shenema, because it says in the pasuk, v'isanu hoitzi misham, and he took us out. So the Rambam's learning the pasuk, v'isanu, it's talking about us, not only the people then. On this, Hashem taught us in the Torah, v'zacharta, you should remember, ki eved ha'yisa, that you were an eved, you were a slave. Koloima, it means to say, ki'ilu ata ba'atzmacha, you yourself, ha'yisa eved, were a slave, yitzas l'cheres minifteisa, and you came out to freedom, and you were redeemed. Says the Rambam, a very important halacha, sometimes not taken seriously enough. It's a difficult one to do, but it's brought down to Shulchan Aruch. It's not a joke. You should try and see yourself as if you came out yourself from Mitzrayim. There's a minig. I don't know if anyone here does it. It's not specifically my minig, but I know lots of people who they have it. You know this one?
Yeah, I know that Temanim.
Temanim do it?
Go out, and someone goes out, he knocks at the door, and he gets hit with a bag on his shoulder, and they say, "Who are you?" He said, I come from Egypt, so tell us the story." And then they begin. So it's like a play.
No way.
It's a play.
Really? It's a real minig, or it's like
it's
a...
a myth.
Yeah, this Shlomo's saying that they can hear on the camera. It's there, but he won't be able to hear it. Yeah, you can hear. Say again.
So I heard that Temanim, a member of the family, goes out. He knocks at the door and comes with the bags on his shoulder, and they ask him, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm a Jew. I was freed from Egypt." So they ask, "So tell us the story," and then they begin the figure. So it means that this emotion is supported by an imagination, like a play, like something like we have to help the people to feel it. It's not just saying words. Just think we're a slave. How come there was like English took over Egypt, so we would be freed without Hashem? And then as these classical questions. But it's only on the place when you say "Ve'afta et Hashem Elokecha." How can you say you will have pasta? I don't love pasta, but you have a mitzvah to love pasta. What can I do? I don't love pasta. You have to love Hashem. So then you have to know. But we have mitzvot with a psychological order. That sounds crazy. Say you have to love something. You have to feel free. You have to think that you are in Egypt. I was born in the Bronx.
Bring it.
Or in London. So okay, cool. What was I?
Very good.
But you have to have this action on your self.
In your heart. Very good. I was going to say a different minig, which I know people do, is they take their matzah on their back and they walk around as if they go around the table singing a song. I can't remember the song. That song, walking around as if they just walked out there. You got to make it real. You got to make it real. The Rambam goes further. Not only should you make it real, so always in the Rambam is every single word was meduyak, was written there especially. So we're going to try and understand how this flows. He says, Lefikoch. This is carrying on in source 7, going on to where it says Zion. Right? So it's the last line towards the end. Lefikoch, therefore. So whenever you say therefore, we're coming off what we just said. So he just said, because I told you that you need to see yourself as coming out of Mitzrayim. Lefikach, therefore, when a person eats on this night, and this carries on into source 8, right? So it's in the middle. It goes over to here.
Okay.
He has to eat and drink. And he's lying on his side. Derech in the way of a free person. Each person, bein noshim, men or ladies. Note, he doesn't say children, right? So he's paskening like Rabbi Yehuda, l'chera. Chayiv lishtes balayla hazeh arba kosas shel yayin. He needs to eat. He needs to drink 4 cups of wine. Now again, let's watch. We started off with halacha vav. Halacha vav says you need to see that you came out of Mitzrayim. Goes on to halacha zayin, says lefikach. Therefore, on this night when you eat, lean, and also have 4 cups of wine. So you see in the Rambam as well, he's understanding that's a din of chirus. Drinking 4 cups of wine is to show you're free. This is what aristocratic, rich, free people do, is they drink 4 cups of wine. It's a showing of we're free. You see this in the Rambam as well. Not only in the Ran, you see this in the Rambam as well. It's a mitzvah of chirus as well. Now, putting the source sheets aside, what was the first question we asked? First question we asked is, when it comes to Kiddush, we find that you have to have Mali Lugmov, which is a small shiur. When it comes to Seder night, you're meant to have Roiv the Kois. I didn't say this before. Rov the kos is b'di'evet. It says, if you have rov kos, yotza, you're yotza. The Rambam didn't tell you what you should really have. Yotza is mashma, you're okay. You've been mekayim din, you are yotza. What is the real din? To have the whole cup. The whole cup. Blabam. The whole thing. All down. What's the pshat in it? Says the Briskerov and Shlomo, that by Kiddush, the pshat is, I need to say Mekadesh Shabbos. I need to stand up by a bris. And when we thank Hashem for the mitzvah, and when we're making a pomp and a ceremony, we stand there with a cup of wine. You need to taste it afterwards. You made the hagofen. It needs to go on the wine. You have to do something with the wine. But it's all about the ceremony. It's about what you're saying. It's about the situation you're creating, the special atmosphere which it creates. When it comes to 4 cups of wine, we've just seen that the halacha is derech eretz, like a rich man. We never said make a bracha on daled kossos. That wasn't the din. It's not so much about what you say before and after. It's about the drinking. It's the actual drink of 4 cups. It's the drinking. So, drinking, the Rabbanah said 4 cups. What is 4 cups? 4 cups. That's what it means. 4 cups. Have 4 cups. It's not like a thing, I'll have a little bit and then I've had... By Kiddush, it's just to have a little bit because that wasn't the main bit. The main bit wasn't the wine itself. Here is the drinking of the cups. It's to have 4 cups. That is the chiyuv. If you have most of it, there's a rule, rubai kekule. When you have most, it's as if you've had the whole thing. That's a special rule which we picked out that you can be yotza. So it comes out there's a fundamental difference between Kiddush and daled kossos. And it follows down all the way into the halacha. So halacha lamaisa, it says, the Mishnah Berurah brings down, lots of various different halachic sources, that if you want to have a nice cup, it's all very nice. But halachically, because you're meant to have the whole cup, better take a smaller cup and drink the whole thing, or drink most of it. You have some people, they take these huge cups, they look really nice, and they have a little bit. Halachically, it's not so good. Halachically, you may not have the whole cup. If you want most of it, that's great. So, it's better to make sure you do that. The smallest size of a cup is a revius. How much is a revius?
3 ounces.
3 ounces?
The 86 cc's, according to the smallest opinion, 150 cc's to
So either 86 cc or 150 cc.
Does that equate to about 3 ounces?
I know nothing about. Oh, you can check out for you. So that's the smallest cup. Some of the so either get small cup or make sure you can have the whole cup or most of it.
They sell small cups.
Oh yeah, they especially do it.
Of 6 small cups that are like.
But even then, make sure it gets a revius in comfortably. Sometimes you get a revius just till the top, spills a little bit, and you're not being yotzi your mitzvah. Chaval al azman.
100 cc, I think. So we have above 86.
Right. We still have a chag kosher v'sameach. An amazing Pesach. And try stay sober. What?
The smaller size is 2.91 fluid ounces, and 150 is 5.07.
Oh wow. So it's either between 3 to 5 ounces. 5 is the biggest share, and 3 is the smallest share.
You didn't define in
That cup is-
in kashrut, majority is just a little more than half. We said rav, but we didn't say what's rav. Is it 2/3? Is it 51%? Is it, what is it?
Rav is not 51. The Rav is the majority.
Right.
Elections,
Right.
51% is the majority.
I had this question. I wasn't sure myself. I don't know. You have to. Maybe I'll check it up. I'll get back to you. I don't know exactly what is right. Right. I think that's as well. Shlomo, you hear what Aryeh is telling? They're understanding that if rubai kekula is roiv is like most, then if it doesn't look like most is gone, then how are we saying rubai kekula? How are you saying most is like it's all gone? That's not really most. Roiv could mean most as in most of it. 51, is that most?
It is technically.
It's a smart. What?
It's technically, but you're not going to hold it up and be like,
I don't know. I thought about it. I didn't have time to check it up. I'll let you know.
And
So it could be 56, 60.
you just said now, you're really supposed to drink the whole cup.
In 3
But
quarters,
that's
why
not
not
what
3
we
quarters?
studied. We studied. You're supposed to drink most of the cup.
Right.
So which one are we going by?
Right. Very good. If you look at the Rambam again, that's in source number 8, halacha test. It's right at the end. Right at the end of halacha test. Where is it?
We read that.
Okay.
Yeah. Shmuel's asking that in the Rambam it says that you should drink most of the cup, and then I came along and said you have to drink the whole cup. So I want to explain where I'm coming from. The im shasa mikol kos mehen. If one drank from all the koses, from each kos, rubai, most of it, yotza, you are yotza. You have done your chiyuv. If you look at the language, the choice of words the Rambam uses is yotza. It doesn't say that is preferable. He says yotza, kilu, like you got away with it. It's okay. It's okay. And the achronim, the poskim on Medayik, that lashon tells you that really you're meant to have the whole cup. But if you had most, you're okay because of rubik kakule. But really you're meant to be having the whole cup.
And what you just read now, did it say on each cup, or it was of the 4 cups in their entirety?
Right. Good question. It means on each cup. Mikol kois. Vim shasa mikol kois mehen, of them, of each kois, rubai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Shkayach.
Yiboneh Beit Midrash, Yitzion, Yitzion.